Warren Buffett invests $1 billion in a Bitcoin friendly neobank, dumps his Visa and MasterCard stocks. He's never been a fan of Bitcoin before, but now he has more companies in his portfolio that have direct/indirect exposure to Bitcoin and similar cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, at the same time, Berkshire Hathaway, that's the same company, his Charlie Munger says that government should ban crypto, says that Bitcoin and crypto are like venereal disease. He says it was a huge mistake to allow cryptocurrencies into the market. He might be right. It might be a Trojan horse eating and destroying all of the financial system he's made his life protecting. Dan Eve, what about this idea? Is Bitcoin and crypto venereal disease? And did Warren Buffett just get it?
Well, it seems like this could be a play from because obviously Warren Buffett's doing potentially doing a Jamie Dimon, right? Like, oh, Bitcoin's fraud, it's a scam, blah blah blah, and then going and underhand buying, and he knows he knows that if Berkshire Hathaway to become were to be seen as positive, then it could pump the price, and then and maybe he's even more invested in the idea of Bitcoin and doesn't want to become a false prophet of Bitcoin and then become negative about not negative, but after being in Bitcoin, once he's in Bitcoin, if he's then negative, it probably has more of an impact if he's just a naysayer from the outset, kind of like how Tesla, if Tesla was buying, accepting Bitcoin and then not accepting Bitcoin had more of an impact than if they just hadn't have accepted it in the first place, I think. So he's probably getting exposure to Bitcoin via this new this is Warren Buffett via this new bank. They invested in Easy Invest, which offers a Bitcoin ETF. So it's kind of like he doesn't want to seem too keen. He's kind of testing the water. Fintech's not really his thing, so he doesn't want to look like he's completely U-turned and he's like, oh, Bitcoin's crap, and then suddenly he's sort of investing in it. So this seems like a kind of a light thing with Charlie Munger. That old chestnut. Maybe they're doing the good cop, bad cop thing. So, like, bit of good news. Warren Buffett, but is in or Berkshire Hathaway investing in this Bitcoin friendly bank, and then they've got to counter it with Munger. I'll say Munger because it sounds like Minger, which is a UK term. But so Munger is playing bad cop, and he's like, yeah, it's like venereal disease. But why would you even trust that guy anyway? The guy he still calls stuff venereal disease, so he's probably still using other terms like colored people and things like that. So you can forget about what he says. He's crazy. He hates the success of Bitcoin. It sounds like hating the success of Bitcoin sounds like more of a I missed the boat statement. Like, oh, imagine if we'd have just put $1 million in when it was, even in 2017, when it was like, beginning of 2017, it was like $650. The profits there, wobble, 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 wobble. They could have quaffed with their cigars all night long. So maybe it does sound like a bit of a miss the boat thing going on. But he is also the classic thing of, one of the quotes is, if you stop to think about it, it's an ideal currency if you want to commit extortion or kidnapping or have a protection racket or something, and called it untraceable technology. It's not. It's a public ledger. So these people clearly still don't understand the actual bedrock of Bitcoin, which it's an entirely public ledger. Maybe he didn't even read the story of what's the name, the Raza Khan, the fact that they managed to catch those guys, and it can't be very well hidden if they managed to, if the DOJ just managed to get $3.6 billion and take it from these people, because it wasn't stored offline in private keys or whatever. So it shows a clear misunderstanding of the technology and ignorance about the technology, that it's an untraceable thing. So yeah, it's almost just quaffle quaffle. Old man shouts at sky.
Dan makes an excellent point. When it comes to technology analysts, I want the oldest guy in the room. People still saying VD and clap and stuff like that. Christian Rutzel, what about Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett? They're Bitcoin's biggest fans, but they also think it's a venereal disease.
Yeah, this disease thing. This I think you need to be convinced then that this wants to kill the patient somehow. So, and I don't get it, because all those people just buying up this idea that Bitcoin will I don't know, get rid of the state and all the things. So why are they buying into this? This is like giving the other people saying, oh, you're right. It will do that what you say. That's definitely not proven. So I'm it's personally, you always have this both sides. The one said, oh, Bitcoin will erase the state. The other one said, yes, it will, and this is why we need to fight it. It's like, are you sure about the base premise here? So this is why I always have problems with those people like that, using those kind of terms and asking for this kind of fight out there that I don't think needs to be there. I think this more, I like to look at the practical possibilities there, how things can work together. And even like something like Bitcoin out there can, on the other side, help to democratize fiat currencies more and take it out of the control of the central banks. So Bitcoin fights again with you against the central banks, and once that fight is won, the fiat currencies can be more democratized and be in a coexistence with Bitcoin becoming a checks and balances more like outside the system. You don't need words like diseases for that. So that's.
So Ben Ark, the Greeks built this really nice horse. The Trojans are looking at it. Munger says it's venereal disease. Buffett seems fine bringing the horse inside the gates. What do you think about this? Half and half?
No, I'm going full conspiracy on this, because like Warren Buffett has been very outspoken publicly about Bitcoin. And then in this article, we see that actually his, Berkshire Hathaway, of which, Munger is the vice chairman of, that they're buying up these Bitcoin friendly stocks, and then they're dumping these legacy stocks. So I think it's just a classic market play in which they outwardly, like, they're buying up things now while they're cheap, they're filling their portfolio, and then they're talking down the price as much as possible. And Munger's just out there doing his thing, as a laissez-faire capitalist, calling it, equating it to harvesting baby brains and rat poison and whatever else, whatever ridiculous mud he can throw at Bitcoin. And then in the back end there, they're just buying up Bitcoin and Bitcoin friendly stocks, and they're just filling their portfolio. And then they'll turn around and they'll say, yeah, Bitcoin's great, and the price will go whoosh, and they'll be gazillionaires. So it's just good market participation by them both. And I wouldn't listen to a word they're saying. One of the reasons they've done so well is because they have that public microphone, and they're able to influence the price of things by making these sorts of statements. And why wouldn't they? If they wanted to then buy up something cheap and then sell it for more later, which is what it's all about in the end, ultimately, isn't it?
Exit question. What happened to all of Bitcoin's critics? We used to have all these people who hated crypto, like Jamie Dimon and CNBC and other things. Now we have Crypto NBC. We have Warren Buffett investing $1 billion while his other hand is angry at him. Dan Eve, were all the crypto critics wrong? Are they all going to come to the light?
Well, they realize they will be eventually. It goes back to the same thing about people saying that the internet is bad. The internet's only bad. It can only be used for bad. And now it's this huge underlying infrastructure that connects everyone around the world. And although, again, it can be used for nefarious things, ultimately there's a greater good, especially e-commerce and communication. Like, it's just been incredible. People can speak to their families in real time over the other side of the world and see them and that experience being with them without actually being in the same room. And Bitcoin is the same thing. It's a technology that gets abused by some and gets used in a normal way by others. So it's just a matter of time before these people swing round. And yeah, they're just afraid they missed the boat.